Been waiting a long time to get back up here to Phoenix. I'm certainly happy this afternoon to be here. While I'm at Phoenix, there's something about it that always makes me feel that I'm sitting among people who are my friends, that love me. And if the great prayer warriors come from here to pray for me for years, I always remember the first meeting that I had here with Brother Outlaw, Brother Garcia, and the ministers here of the city. How the Lord did bless when I was just in the youth of my meetings. Since then, Phoenix has held great something in my heart that's hard to explain. As a little boy, I always wanted to come to Phoenix. I always read about the desert. I had little poems that I made up about it when I was just a little boy about Arizona. I'm so glad to be a native now. I guess I'm just about a year old and maybe a little more, but you don't find too many much older than that. Everybody I run into, I say, "Are you a native?" Well, as much as there is. I've been here so long, and I suppose I'd have to go up to the Apache Reservation or somewhere to find a real native. And someone said not long ago, said, "Brother Branham, how do you like Arizona?" I said, "Well, it's been one of my great lifetime anticipations to live in Arizona, and God has granted that to me." We're here just in prior of the Businessman's Convention, which has become an annual thing for us. And this afternoon, as we've gathered here for our pre-get-together before the convention, which starts Thursday night, I believe, it's been my privilege for the past few years to come and have this little meeting around before the real meeting starts, or the convention rather starts. Brother Williams is such a very dear friend. He and Sister Williams, I certainly got a warm place in my heart for those people. They constantly invite me back. And so we're happy to fulfill that invitation this afternoon. Also on the platform, Brother Fuller, Brother Jewel Rose, and Brother Tony Strami from Tucson, and Brother Borders, our campaign manager, and a good old precious brother, Oregon Bright. We've been together in many hard battles on the other side of the river. I expect to dwell with him on the other side of the big river someday. I can't think of the brother's name. I was trying. What is your name, brother?
Al Boer.
Boer, Brother Boer. I know his face. Aren't you the one also interprets sometimes for the deaf? For the deaf. And we're so happy to have all of you here. I was just looking down here in front of me, and I see some of my friends all the way from Arkansas here. When I was here the first time, I told you that everywhere I went, I found somebody from Arkansas. I'm sure if I ever get to heaven, to find some there from Arkansas. Well, they certainly have been a faithful, loyal people. Now, usually I speak a long time, but I've tried my best to kind of make my scriptures and notes so I wouldn't speak too long, and I want to pray for the sick while I'm in Phoenix. Now, the message that the Lord has allotted to me is sometimes, these things get pretty touchy. And it's been that way in every age, and I've tried my best to stay with it. It's something that if I did not speak that thing that God told me, and if it wasn't of God, then it wouldn't be in the Word. But if it's in the Word and a promise for this hour, then I feel that I'm doing what's right, because I'm only trying to keep what He promised for this hour. And many times when you cross up someone in their theology, they fall out with you right quick. But that shouldn't be. Try to find friends of mine that of all different denominational churches and so forth. I never fall out with them, brother. I go to their churches everywhere they let me come and speak. But we shouldn't fall out over little ideas. But, if I said anything different than what's in my heart, I'd be a hypocrite. And far be it, I might have to meet him someday as a sinner, but I certainly don't want to meet him as a hypocrite. But I want to be true, and if I just said, well, I'll just omit this because if the rest of them believes this, that, then what kind of a person? You couldn't have no confidence in me. Now, I couldn't have confidence in God or in myself when I just so easily compromise. Anyone has got to have something that they're sure of. And that's when you can base your faith, is when you're sure. But until you're sure, if there's a question, leave it alone until you're sure. Billy would probably give out some prayer cards, which I think I told him to. And I believe he told me a while ago that he had. Somewhere along there, I'll call a few to the prayer line after a while to be prayed for. And if your card's not called, if it is called, rather, and you're not sure that God is a healer and He's going to heal you, it won't do no good to come up here because you won't be healed. If there's one question, if you say, well, now, if there's something in my life, I really ought to straighten this up, you go make that right first and then come back to the prayer line. Because healing is the children's bread. We realize that. It's in the atonement, and the atonement first is applied to our souls. And healing has always forerun every message, and it's also been a means to gather people together. And it's, many people will sponsor a healing meeting. Many will come to a healing meeting or to a song festival. But when it comes to a poor lost soul get saved, there's not many people interested in that. But that's the main thing. Divine healing and singing festivals and so forth is just as Brother Bosworth used to say, it's the bait on the hook. And you show the fish the bait, not the hook. And that's just the thing to get the people to listen a while so you can really present to them your message. God has did that in every age. Through every age there's always been a healing campaign. If it's a genuine healing campaign, behind that campaign always is a message. There never is a sign given just for a sign. It's forerunning a message. And I believe the same thing is 17 years ago or 18 years now that the Lord sent me out to start praying for the sick. It made a great revival among the people. Many great servants of God have went forth in healing campaigns. But the healing campaign in itself, if you still stay in the same old trend of what you've always was, there's something wrong. That healing campaign wasn't sent from God. It's got to attract attention first. See? Get the attention, and then there's a message. Jesus, when He came forth healing the sick and so forth, He was a great prophet to all of them. But when He began to tell them the truth of the gospel, who He was and what He come for, then He was not popular after that. And that's the way it's always been through every age. And it will continue that way. Now, we're here this afternoon, and then tomorrow afternoon in this same auditorium, at 7 o'clock. Is that right, brother? 7:30. Tomorrow afternoon, or evening, and then Tuesday evening, and I think Wednesday evening also.
Oh, at the Ramada Inn Wednesday.
At the Ramada Inn Wednesday. And then Thursday, that's right, starts the convention. And so, Lord willing, I want to be here through all of it. I'm here, your brother, a helper in God's kingdom, to help you to anything that I can. To answer your question, I might not be able to do it, but prayerfully, we'd probably understand if we prayed over it and went to God about it, and not draw our own opinions. If you're sick, I wish I could heal you, but no man can do that. It's already done. Healing lies in you. It's your faith in the finished work that God did on Calvary with Jesus Christ. And outside of that, there is no healing. Outside of that, there is no salvation. No church, no denomination, no ritual, nothing packs salvation, Jesus Christ. He was wounded for our transgressions. With His stripes we were healed. He was wounded for our transgressions, by His stripes we were, all in past tense, we were healed. Now, upon that, I don't have but just a few moments to speak this afternoon to you, probably 20, 30 minutes, and then we're going to run a prayer line. Each day, as usual, new people comes in, so there'll be new prayer cards given out. But we will do all that's in our power. All the